What do you think will happen to the conventional industry? For example, those who are not on board on Web3, those who are not on board on blockchain.
Yeah.
It could be services of a company, or it could be even governments as well. What do you think will be happening in the next 1 decade
Yeah.
for
So,
those companies in particular?
yeah. So Web3 is a specific blockchain pocket, if you will, where communities have a say over their service, including incentive system within that community through the use of tokens, for example. And they own the content. This means that you will find an increasingly decentralized environment for companies. I think that companies need to look at these technologies and consider how they can play a role in that development themselves before communities form themselves and take over traditional functions, or let's say functions which are currently performed traditionally by other firms. With the speed of technology that we see now, a decade is long to project out. In blockchain, we see the first couple of applications coming online since a few years now, which is exciting. Web3 is coming online. I think it will not take a decade. I will take less. Within the next 5 years, we're going to see whole alternatives to existing structures, especially for structures which are larger integrated structures, which are then decentralized in different communities around the world and online, which of course creates fantastic opportunities for people who are currently excluded, let's say, because you don't need to be based in a big city to be able to make a meaningful contribution there. I think, especially in finance, traditional finance, check it out, otherwise you might be disrupted by somebody else. And we see it already happening with classical fintech, if you look at the Revoluts of this world and other fintech firms. Yeah.
You mentioned about the speed with which the technology is actually changing and adopting. There's an argument on this basis itself that how can you plan for sustainability when things are moving so fast, when the technology itself may compete with its own progress and can actually make itself unsustainable. I mean, the previous version can become unsustainable. Web3, with the advent of, say, Web4, if it comes, can actually make Web3 obsolete. So what do you have to, this is just an argument that many people are debating on. So that's one part. And the second part is also another argument is about risk, because with the advent of AI, we are many people argue that we are opening a Pandora's box.
Yes.
It could be a box which even the players who are the big players within the AI industry, for example, Elon Musk, even Sam Altman, they're also mentioning that AI might become something which might actually be bigger than nuclear bombs in the future as well.
Right.
So the risk aspect of it and the sustainability aspect of it. What do you think about it?
So I would start with the sustainability aspect. I think anybody who is developing applications on blockchain into Web3, or in this case in AI, needs to ask him or herself, what problem am I solving for society? And so the moment that I develop something which solves a problem for society, that is, in my mind, that is something which adds to sustainability. And so I made in earlier this conversation the connection to the SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. If I solve a problem using one of those technologies, then this counts for sustainability, if you will. And of course, if there's innovation, which means that the previous version becomes obsolete, hopefully more people can benefit from it. So I'm less using that definition, I'm less scared for that. But you're right about the risk point. If I may quickly I said it related back to finance. In finance, we are trained in credit risk, in market risk, and operational risk. These are the risk categories that the Basel framework, the capital adequacy framework require from us. The reality today is that we have large risks within operational risks, and they are transfers in nature. So be it AI risk, as I say, where AI would take on moral agency, making decisions affecting people's lives. fiduciary risks, reputation risks, and so on. These are nowadays, cyber risks, these are nowadays much bigger than the traditional credit and market risk. The models are not there yet. And so in terms of risk governance, which is one of my fields, for those in charge, yes, we need to have good credit risk and market risk models and people there, but we also need to develop an awareness around emerging risks, about risks which are transverse in nature, and maybe we need to say sometimes no. Even in the AI world, we have powerful voices coming out asking for a moratorium, and that makes sense, this kind of discussion. Because we need to be able to say no, and we need to understand risk more and better before we move forward. And so this awareness of risks, especially those which are becoming increasingly more intangible, I think is a big duty and task for management, besides the classical risk categories that we know of.
Thank you very much. It's a very interesting insight that you shared.